I heard you fought for that nose ring as well.
I did, and I won.
Well, tell him about how the story when.
Oh, right. Well,
or
that's
is that not
exciting.
allowed to be told.
I think
like,
I know. No, I've told it anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So
Forget it.
no, I haven't. I think I've said it. I can't remember who I said it to, but it was really funny because coming back. First of all, I had just had a baby like 6 weeks prior, so it was all sort of. I think everybody was kind of concerned is a nice word to say. We had no clue what she's going to look like after she had this baby, and so what are we going to do character-wise? And so it was really fun to play Lexi and just have a completely different look altogether. And as you know, our main offices are in LA. We also have some offices in Toronto, and we shoot in Nova Scotia. So our production, network, studio, all that's kind of spread out across the continent. So I don't exactly get to see everyone before we start shooting. So we were starting up the season. They were developing the look for Lexi. We, tried on a bunch of wardrobe and came up with some photos and, went through hair and makeup of what we thought looked really, really good. And sent that off. And everybody was like, awesome, looks fantastic. Now we just want to see this on Emily. And everybody was like, it is Emily. And they were, wait a second, no way, which was such a compliment to the transformation that had happened. Also was a little bit disconcerting, like, you don't know who I am, this is me. But it was really, really cool to actually have, created an entirely new look and to be so disguised, as an actor. That's one of my favorite things, is to try to not trick people, but to try to make them, pull them into a story. So the fact that we had done that with our own people was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the one?
That was the one. You did good. Now tell them about it.
I did fight for the nose ring, though. There was a little character I played when I got my Taft-Hartley, which is the first little step you get when you become SAG, and she was a little low-rent sort of bartender rat, and she had, really short blonde hair and a nose ring, and I really liked her, and I didn't ever feel like I got to play her. So when they sort of pitched this character to me, I thought, I think she would have, we want something very distinct. When you look at these people, when you take snapshots of each of these characters from Audrey's life, you want to know who that's her. And so that was something, and I said, I really think people will like, I don't think it'll be too much. No, but I really think, and I just kept fighting, and they let it through just to see, what network thought, and network loved it. So I got to keep it.
Boom. Yeah.
That's right.
It was a victory.
It was.
Just out of interest, the show is obviously based on a Stephen King novel. Has he put any notes down about, or is he actually, do you know if he's ever watched the show yet? Or has he kept himself away from it, distanced?
I don't know if he's watched it.
He talks to Emily most days, but not me.
Yeah. Yeah. He actually called before. No.
He's calling.
He's calling now. He actually called your mom.
My mom said that Stephen really likes the show. No, we know that Sam and Jim, the creators of the show, got a lovely message from him when they started, with his best wishes and congratulations and support, and that meant a lot to them. They're huge fans of his, and he's basically he's let them do with his material what they would, and we're trying to get him in, I think, to do a cameo perpetually. Yeah. There's an open invitation. It would be very cool. But he doesn't really have an ongoing relationship with how the show's progressing.
I don't think he tweets either, so I don't really have a way to get in contact with him.
Is that why you'll get so many intertextual references, all the other sort of bits of his universe that they like to mention, like Shawshank and so forth? Is it because they've got that open relationship, that sort of relationship, that thanks from him to play with the world?
I think so, yeah. And just because they're huge fans, and we have a bunch of huge fans in the writers' room. And I think the Easter eggs now are like mostly Nick and Bryant's doing, right?
But it's something I think we've tried to, when the show began, and it's a spin-off of the world from Stephen King, and so we have his blessing, and we do realize that we are, that we mention him quite frequently in reference to the show. So you want to do him justice, and you know, we have a large fan base of people that are fans of his work. So it's kind of a fun added bonus for people that really read all of his literature to be able to go through and note everything.
Right, and there's so much stuff in there that is like, there's so many parallels, and from very obvious ones to completely theoretical sort of parallels that I couldn't even begin to talk about because I don't have a clue. But as you know, he's got so much material out there. His real fans, his big fans, I think would have a lot of fun mining Haven for that stuff.
When Lucas and the guys were over last October, they said that you had a bit of a tough time on set, being surrounded by a bunch of lads who make silly jokes.
I'm in therapy as a result. Yeah. What did you say?
We said.
What did you say?
I do believe you said that she made her first dirty joke that year.
Oh yeah,
That I what?
That's right. We did. We said that you were basically like the girl surrounded by a bunch of guys that are making like juvenile jokes.
The story
most
of my
the
life.
time. But that you had really come a long way. In fact, last year, you
I've begun to joke like you. Yeah, talk as a native.
You've
student,
come a long way, like it's sort of degressing to.
The thing is I like to keep a low profile on set.
A low profile.
I'm an observer. There's a lot of things I could say. There's a lot of things I could say and I should say. It is so true. You don't even know.
I don't.
You don't know.
I don't even know.
No, but I do thoroughly enjoy shock factor as well, but it's in reverse. Like the boys like to, especially Eric likes to shock me with stuff and likes to see how I'm going to react. And I like the reverse shock factor, which is just keeping it low for a really long time and then sending out a zinger to which they get stunned.
Long
and you see them, the very
3 years
long
she held that one. Nailed him. He was like, his head exploded.
It's pretty awesome. No, but I made a joke, I think, recently about how I just spend my days on set going like this.
Yeah.
I consider myself a refuge for the outsiders that come in and get, berated by the energy. I'm like, if you want to join in, feel free. But if you need a place to call home, come over and hang out. They'll be okay. No, we really have a really good time. So.
Yeah, but it's not very academic kind of place to work.
Not so much. No.
Although we would really support that if we had an academic come to Haven and wanted to, pursue their studies on set, they could. That would be fine. But they would just have to deal with a lot of, fart jokes.
It's funny. I think I was the kind of girl growing up where I hate to say it, but I didn't have a ton of girlfriends anyway. Like I tended to gel more with guys in general. Like I just got their humor, kind of was more of a tomboy and enjoyed that company more because it was just less drama, or so I thought. But so I feel I feel at home. It's like the brothers I never had. I do have a brother. He's younger than me. Anyway. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the brothers, the
that I didn't have. Yeah,
had.
I have a great brother. So.
Is there anything you guys want to see for your characters? Something that hasn't happened yet that you would like to have a crack at? Get the writers to write it for you, and off you go.
Ooh, here's your
stuff. Just stuff. There are all sorts of things, but that's a really hard question to answer because I've thought myself, like, what would I, okay, I'm going to go sit down with them and talk about what I really want to see and what do I want to see. I have a hard time answering that, but I guess I would like I'd like to see I'd like to explore some more of Nathan's history. Mm-hmm. I think there are all sorts of story possibilities in his dad, his mom, what happened to his dad, what happened to his mom, his adoption. But I don't know if those are you know, I mean, selfishly, I would love to do that. I don't know if that is what the show is supposed to be necessarily. But I don't really know. I think it's going to be tricky. We have, knowing where we end this season, from my perspective, going into next season with I'm going to need a fresh set of eyes, I think. Nathan needs a bit of a reevaluation of things, and I would like to see him like have a big personality shift, or I'd like to see a big change in him. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I don't know how long we can, you know.
What are you saying?
Well, I can't say what it is.
I think it's funny that he said that, though, because I feel like when people ask me that question, I tend to usually go to the Nathan camp of things. Like, I feel like he's a huge question mark, which is such a great like piece of the Haven puzzle. I think that's a lot of the allure of who Nathan is as a person. But I always have said, like, I'd like to see his like apartment or where he lives, you know, and we get a glimpse. We just recently we get a glimpse of that, sort of, but like barely 2 seconds of it. And I'd like to I would think it'd be kind of cool to see like different points of view from, you know, because we're always sort of attacking a trouble, but I think the way that maybe like Vince and Dave view Haven, or the way that like Nathan's day and like how he does, like, I think that would kind of like an interesting spin on things. And I also think there's just a layer of mythology that we sort of held up season 1 with Lucy and the Chief, and you know, Nathan as a little boy and Duke as a little boy, and that sort of 1983-esque version of Haven that sort of supported the whole first season. To me, it is very interesting, and I'd love to kind of give that some more weight or delve into that more.
Guys, I think we'll have to stop it there if that's okay.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Sure. I just wanted to say, from a story, like, other than specifically character perspective, from a story perspective, I would love to see, I think all of us would like to see, you know, less concern about the trouble of the week in general, and more, you know, maybe a new way to approach episodes, whether that's, you know, a day in the life of a certain character, or whether that's more time travel, but more exploring that mythology in general, rather, you know, and weaving in maybe the trouble that they're dealing with, but having it focus less on that case.
Cool.
Thanks.